Well, hi, and thanks for taking a moment to listen to this taste of work in the light. Today, we're going to talk about encouragement. Dr. Don Clifton was teaching psychology at the University of Nebraska back in the 50s of the last century when he realized that nearly the entire field of psychology was based on what was wrong with people. No one was studying the psychology of what makes a person right or emotionally healthy. For the next 50 years, Dr. Clifton conducted, get this, over 1 million interviews in an effort to find out how good shapes our lives. By the 1990s, he helped develop a new discipline of psychology called positive psychology. Today, 5,000 organizations and over 1 million people have applied the theory behind his research to improve their businesses and personal relationships. Dr. Clifton utilized his research to develop a widely used Strength Finder survey. I've taken it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's one of the best things that showed me who I am. What did he discover? In part, he discovered that people who receive positive comments from the people around them, from those whom they work, the family members, and even from those they barely know, thrive emotionally. They flourish. In a landmark study of 189 Catholic nuns, and I know this might be hard for people who went through Catholic school where you just saw those nuns, but listen, I did, and I survived. Those with more positive emotions outlived their counterparts with less positive emotions. The study revealed that nuns with positive entries in their personal journals had lived 10 years longer. And of the 35 nuns who had died, only 10 were from the positive emotional sample. When you compare these findings with the mortality rate of habitual smokers, it turns out that less positive emotions are more life threatening than the smoking habit. Smokers live 7.5 years less than non smokers, while less positive people lived an average of 10 years less. I guess that means that Grumpy was probably the first of the seven dwarfs to die. Listen to this quote from William Arthur Ward, a motivational writer from the last century. Flatter me, and I may not believe you. Criticize me, and I may not like you. Ignore me, and I may not forgive you. Encourage me, and I will not forget you. Powerful, isn't it? So, when I transitioned from business to serving as a pastor, oh my goodness, that first Sunday, the distance between the front pew and the pulpit up front seemed like the last mile. It was like the last walk. I took a deep breath and I just started heading up to the front while I was praying in my heart. And I grabbed the pulpit with both hands, with my heart racing and my mouth full of cotton, or so it seemed. I looked down to see an index card with the following message: We are glad God called you to be our shepherd. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you what that did. To this day, 20 years later, I have no idea who left that message on the pulpit. I still have the card. It's enshrined on my bookshelf behind me. And it reminds me of the power of encouraging words. One day, Jesus took a rough, shoot from the hip, emotionally driven guy and said, You are a fisherman, but today I'm going to make you a fisher of men. Your name is Simon, but I'm going to call you Peter, the rock, because on the rock of faith like yours, I'm going to build my church. Did you hear that? Within a matter of a few seconds and just a few words, the entire self perception of a man, Simon, was transformed into the Apostle Peter. According to Dr. Gary Chapman of the Five Love Language fame, he discovered that words of affirmation about accomplishments, about a person's character, or even their personality traits are highly regarded by those we work alongside, those we live with, our family, our spouse, our children. So as we approach Thanksgiving, how can you take this taste of work in the light and use it in your sphere of influence and leadership to bring a little encouragement? Is there someone who needs to know that you are thankful for them, that you appreciate them for what they've done, for who they are, for their personality, what they bring to the team? Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's one of your children, all of your children. Maybe it's one of your neighbors. Maybe it's someone that you don't even like at all. In any case, this has been a taste of Work in the Light. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy those whom you love. We'll talk to you again. And until that time, work in the light.